What's going on, family? This is Rafael from Plenty of Seed. I hope you're having a blessed day. So, for today's video, I just wanted to share with you guys why I decided to start this channel and this Bible project. I just finished the project today. Today is December 17th of 2024, and I just wanted to show some gratitude to you and, of course, to God that put in my heart first the desire of creating this channel, even with all the language limitations and stuff like that. So before I just get started, I wanted to share with you, if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, to give some comment on the section below, to hit the like button, and of course don't forget to check our website, plentyofseed.org. There is plenty of amazing articles there. I promise that God will speak to you through them also. So now let's open our Bibles in Mark chapter 16 verses 14 to 16. It says, "Afterward he appeared to the 11 themselves as they were reclining at table, and he rebuked them for their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they had not believed those who saw him after he had risen. And he said to them, Go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation. Whoever believes and is baptized will be saved, but whoever does not believe will be condemned." See, I live in Brazil, and I'm a guitar player. I'm studying to become a professional guitar player. I played the guitar since 15 years. Since I had 15 years, I'm 24 now, and I want to also become a music producer. I'm studying a lot to do that also. And I remember since I was a little kid, I always went to music. I started studying music with 14 years old in my church to help the church. And of course, I fell in love with it. And I remember when I was 16, my dream was to go to Berkeley. And man, this helicopter right now, come on, man. But, just don't pay attention on it. So then, when I was 16 years old, I was just crazy about music. And the thing was, I was creating a Christian family. So with 16 years old, I was always, watching Matheus Sato videos. And my dream was to become like Matheus Sato. I went to the United States, went to music college, and playing for artists, making my money, to have a wife, kids, and stuff like that. So I always thought, man, I'm already Christian, so, God will change my heart little by little. When you're a 16 years old teenager, there's a lot of things that you have to polish in your character yet. But I knew that God would help me to get through little by little my difficulties and help me to be a better person. And I was saved because Jesus died for me and for my sins. But my dream was kind of selfish dream, because I never thought about other people when I was a teenager. I was always like, man, I wanted to make my money with music, and I'm already saved, and that's it. So little by little, God started to show me that I was an evangelist. So it all started when I was 15, actually. I bought this book called, what was the name? It was something like, What is My Purpose on Earth? Stuff like that. I always thought to myself, man, why am I here on this earth? Even though I was a Christian, I always had this feeling in my heart, man, God put me in this earth for some reason. So little by little, as I get older, God started to change my heart. And I remember back in 2021, I always wanted to learn English. I always enjoyed this language, but here in Brazil, it's kind of hard. Almost anybody speak English, and when you learn older, I mean, when you're not a kid, it's very hard to learn a foreign language. So I was always a person that enjoyed English, and English, it was something that I really enjoyed since I was a kid. You know, playing video games, PlayStation. I always tried to pretend I was an American. I always tried to repeat the same thing that the characters was speaking. I always enjoyed English. But I had this kind of feeling of, man, I just can't speak. And little by little, I went to English school here in Brazil, but it wasn't enough to make me fluent. So the last time that I tried was in back 2021. I made this English course online, but when you don't speak, it is impossible to get fluent in something. It's like become fluent in an instrument if you don't play. It is impossible. So back in 2021 was, using these apps on the cell phone that you could speak with people worldwide in English. And I realized a lot of these people was people, Muslims, people from South Arabia, Egypt, places like that. And God put something in my spirit. He started to put in my heart a desire to save souls. I start to realize, man, I'm already saved. Christ died for my sins. There's a lot of people like them that are being deceived by Satan. And the Heavenly Father, the only thing that He tell us to do was preach the gospel around all nations, around all creation, all creature. Every single person has to know about the gospel. They had to know that through Christ we can be saved, and He's the only way. Because if you don't have Christ, you're not perfect. And if you're not perfect, there is no way of salvation. Because the only way to be saved is being perfect. Is the only way to get to heaven. And through Christ, we can be completely holy. So when God look at me, He don't look my sins, He look Christ. And when He looked to Christ, He see that Christ won. And because Christ won on the cross, He don't look to my sins and I have salvation. Because I'm completely cleansed by God, by Jesus. So I start to realize, man, I have to do something greater in my life. I love music, and this is the thing that I want to as my profession, as my role here on earth. But this cannot be the whole thing. The whole point of being here is to preach the gospel. So through my music, I can preach the gospel. And, you gotta understand something. Usually, people only care about their roles. Maybe you want to be a doctor or a lawyer. In my circumstance, a music producer, a musician, a guitar player. But this is only a talent that God can use to preach the gospel. But you gotta understand something. Nothing that you do here on earth will matter at the end of the day. Because when you die and you face God face to face, the only thing that He will ask you is, what have you done with what I have to you? I gave you some talents. What have you done on earth to preach the gospel through these talents. I was doctor, I was a music producer, I was a guitar player, this and that. But God, He don't care about it. The only thing that really matters is preach the gospel. So I start to realizing that, man, even though I can be an amazing music producer, a guitar player, very wise, very, prosper and stuff like that. At the end of the day, nothing of this matters. The only thing that matters, the preaching of the gospel, is the only thing. So I was like, man, I have to do something. So I attended at a church, and in this church they had this kind of Bible project. So every single day of the year we had a couple of chapters of the Bible. So at the end of the year we finished the whole Bible, and I finished 4 times, 4 consecutive years there. There was a man of God there. He helped me a lot through the process, and I learned a lot. And usually when I was reading the Bible, I was always watching these videos from a man called Cid Moreira. He already passed away. He passed away this year. So he was a locutor, and he had an amazing voice. And 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, he posted the whole Bible on YouTube. He posted the whole Bible, and that helped me a lot because it was a basic English. It wasn't a basic language Bible. It was in Portuguese. So it helped me a lot because I always had some kind of difficulties about distractions. So I was reading, and then I got distracted, and suddenly I realized I have no idea what I'm reading. So I had to read all again. So when I watched those videos and read at the same time, it helped me a lot to pay attention, to pay more attention on what I was reading. So then I realized, man, maybe I can do that. But I'm not fluent enough in English. I mean, doing this in Portuguese, in your mother language, is already hard. Imagine doing this in English. So I was thinking, man, I don't know, man. But the thing was, when you have something that God puts in your heart, man, doesn't matter, you would do, because it's stronger than you. And the crazy part about it that I forgot to tell you guys, there's a lot of people that lives in places that they cannot have the Bible. So people from Afghanistan, people that if they hold a Bible on the streets, in some places they kill them. So, sometimes we here from America, I'm from South America, usually we don't think that much, we don't love that much the Bible as these people does, because they don't have access and we have every single day. But we don't pay too much attention in our Bibles, because there's any problem we can read and nobody will care. So there's a lot of people there that they cannot read the Bible. So I start to think, man, maybe I can create this channel and I can pray to God, God, please help these Bible chapters in basic English. The reason why I decided to put this Bible in basic English is because of these people. There's a lot of people that don't speak English, because, for example, the King James Bible, it's very hard to understand for a foreigner. So I put on the basic English for this reason. And of course, I was the locutor, so it would be extremely hard for me to do something using the King James Bible. It's very hard to pronounce the words. So, I decided to do these videos and I said, man, maybe this can help someone that cannot have a Bible physically, but maybe on YouTube they can watch my videos, my Bible videos. And then I decided to do something different because this man called Cid Moreira, in his channel, there was the chapters of the Bible, the audio books, right? The audio Bible chapters. But the problem was there wasn't the verse, the chapter itself on the commentary. So I decided to do something different. I decided to put the whole chapter. For example, let's say it's Psalms 80. So then I pick up the Psalms 80, or the whole chapter, and I pin in the first comment. So the person, he'll be able to listen the Bible and read at the same time. So I just thought to myself, maybe God can use that to help someone that cannot have the Bible. And I really hope this can help someone. I really hope this channel can be something greater, can help people to get saved. I really hope, I really pray that someday someone can just put some comment on the section and say, thank you so much, because through this channel I got salvation, and I know Lord Jesus, and now I'm saved. Because you gotta understand something. In this life, the only thing that matters is the preaching of the gospel. It's the only thing that really matters. So I start to think with myself, God started to put in this in my heart, man, there's no way I will die and the only thing that people would tell about me was, he was a music producer, he was a guitar player. Nah, man, if I'm a Christian, and if there is the internet, I can be a person that can be used to God to preach the gospel through that. So I know that my English is not the better, man. I know I'm trying hard, and in the next year, I really one of my biggest goals is to become better in English, and speaking. But you gotta understand something. Doesn't matter if you're not the better, if you're not the stronger. Just use what you have. So I'm using a Focusrite. I'm using an AKG microphone and a condenser microphone, and I live in an apartment here. I live just near from a kid's school, so I had to record all the audios after midnight, and I work at the night shift. So imagine, I come from the night shift, I sleep, and then I usually wake up 3 p.m., stuff like that. And then I tried to study. Then at night, after midnight, I had to record all night. And then after, when it comes 6 a.m., I sleep again. So you gotta understand something. For months, I did the best that I can. The best that I could. You can see how there is a lot of mistakes in my speaking, but I try hard, man. 6 hours of recording, 5 hours of recording, 4 hours of recording. Man, there was a lot of times that I tried, man. It is impossible. It's so hard to do that. I don't believe, I just cannot believe right now that I finished the job. And God put something strong in my heart. I start to think, man, imagine this, if this is my last year in this earth, I have to accomplish this mission no matter what. No matter what happened in my life, doesn't matter. I will do my best. I will put all my effort in this because this is the only thing that really matters. Because even though I accomplish all my goals as a musician, as a music producer, this doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is the preaching of the gospel. So guys, you gotta understand that. Doesn't matter if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, if you are, I don't know, an orthodontist, if you are a mechanical, I don't know, a professor, or I don't know, man, a police officer, or a musician just like me, a music producer. You gotta understand, nothing in this life matters. The only thing that matters is the preaching of the gospel. So first, do your best to be just like Jesus. I know it's hard, but do your best. Ask for his help, ask for the help of the Holy Spirit, because he will help you, he will guide you, just as he's doing to me. But this is the message of the day. Use what you have to glorify God. Use what you have to get people for the kingdom of heaven. Because you gotta understand something. There's a plenty of people that in this moment right now are in hell, burning forever. And I just thought with myself, man, there's people there's in hell right now. A place of eternal suffering, eternal pain. Never more they will have an opportunity to, drink a cup of water. So guys, the gospel is an amazing news. The news is everybody had to go to hell. But because of Jesus, now we have salvation. This is an amazing news. So do your best. Use every single thing that you have in your hands to preach this gospel. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please, if you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to smash the subscribe button, to give us some comment on the section below, to give us some like on the video, and to share this video with your friends, to share this video. Don't forget to pray for me, for my life, so God can use me through this channel. There's plenty of new videos coming soon. A lot of amazing ideas that God is giving me to post on this channel in this next year. So I really hope this word of testimony spoke to you, and I hope I can see you in the next videos of this channel. God bless you all.